Yo, what's up, guys? We have good news, and that is that Etheria Restart is gonna get an update. I'll showcase you the update in just a second, which is all the way over here. But first, I want to be looking at the new SSRs that are coming into the game. We have Hoyan and also, I guess, her brother Holden in there. They are the red element and green element respective. And those units are really cool. Hoyan was actually, the moment that I started playing the game, my most favorite character in-game by looks. Not necessarily the strongest character out there, but by looks was definitely one of the better looking characters. And just really insane animations. I did also play a bunch of tournaments with her, and she just always performed well. Sometimes she didn't really perform that well, but a bunch of times she also performed insanely well. So she was a little bit in between over there. So to quickly go through her skills, skill 1, just a simple heal block. Not the craziest of skill 1s out there, but pretty useful. Then she has a skill 2. Moment she dies, she cheats death. She comes back and she immediately uses her skill 3, which is a skill that does actually ignore defense. And it ignores defense by the lower HP you have. It's definitely a hard-hitting skill. There's one pretty big counter to her, however. If you stun her and then you kill her, she does not activate the passive, which I did notice in some of the tournaments, but I also showcased one of the tournament plays that I made with her later. So it's definitely one of those units you might be using towards Doki Doki, because it's also in the case where she kills something with her skill 3, she will revive an ally, or I think if she kills anything with any skill. So it's definitely one of those units where in Doki Doki she does have that revive. She can do a lot of damage. She's definitely the highest single target damage dealer for a hollow element, so the green element. And the revives can actually help you out a decent bit in PvP too. So they kind of made an intro video on their official channel on her, just making her look badass and that kind of stuff. I would say definitely does look very slick. It's definitely one of those characters I would really like to see shine in PvP. I'm not necessarily sure if she's really insanely good. It was also in the last beta they actually removed her. Also, on the side of Holden, which is her counterpart, I guess, we haven't really seen if that one is maybe even better. But once again, I'm going to be pulling Hoyan just for the fact that I like the looks of this character, man. It's just absolutely dope. So, yeah, I just hope she does really well. It's definitely one of those characters. I can see her being paired with, like, a Biotin. It's really good. Pairing her up with Freya is really good. So she definitely has a bunch of strong pairs, I would say, out there. But is she really super hard fitting in the current meta? Because she mostly is kind of squishy. She relatively easy dies off. And if she doesn't go for a kill on her third skill, it's kind of a waste as well, because you lower your HP by 50% if you do that skill. She's definitely one of those characters you do want to put the shell count on, because it just gives extra attack for that reason. So to showcase one of the tournaments, so it's the video of saying a video kind of stuff. This is one of the tournaments I played. So you can see my lineup. Hellkit already dead. Roho already dead. Veronica still slightly alive. He has a lineup with Biotin, Linglo, Heinrich, and Salins. So let's see what Hoyan can do. Because at some point, the Biotin has an insane revive. Maybe you haven't seen it too much in the game yet, but the moment she has a lot of stacks, every stack is a revive. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna send it on the Biotin because I have to kill the unit because it was too much reviving. So she goes in with a skill 3, kills it. 68k, that's an insane amount of damage. Do keep in mind, I have attack buff and I have a crit damage buff over here. Or at least I think that's crit damage. I'm pretty sure it's crit damage. But I die to the reflect of the shield of Salint. So I immediately come back. And because of that, wait, I'm talking about that at the same time what I'm talking about right now. But yeah, she immediately comes back. And then she starts hitting the next thing. Normally, she would hit the target that actually did do the damage on her. So this was maybe a weird interaction. I'm not really sure if that was supposed to be that case. But she immediately goes for another target on that skill 3. And with that, let's see how much damage we're taking over here. Also taking that unit out while killing herself. In the end, I did manage to win this match. But definitely an interesting interaction. I also think because I died, it did not activate the revive. Because normally, if you kill something with Hoyan on a skill 3, you should be reviving your own allies as well. But in this case, maybe because you die, it did not really work. Or maybe that's why they had to put her in the beta where they just didn't use her for a bit because they had to rework some of those things. Not entirely sure how that will work out. But yeah, definitely 2 units. I do have a decent amount of pulls. I'm on like 50, 60 pulls right now. I will check how good Holden is as well. But I definitely want to be pulling for Hoyan. That's just an incredibly cool unit. In Pryden, you can also already see the skill set, but there's also a little bit more info to share. They do have a update notice in here, so that's why they mention it's like, okay, we're gonna release Holden. Yes, sir, we're gonna release Hoyan. Okay. they're also going to be doing the Unseen Lady that is going to be Hoyan. So they're going to be putting her in the next banner, and that next banner is going to be about like 12-ish days. So that's definitely a nice one over there. She's not an LD, she is a green element. Then we're also going to be guaranteeing... Wait, is this an event? This is also a second one. So they actually have one for Hoyan as a banner, and they have one for Holden as a banner. Both are banners on the 80. Once again, it's not a 50-50 banner. You just guarantee get her, which is definitely nice. Okay, we have like a preview. We have a few new outfits. Curious to see how those will look, but sure. New gameplay. They're also going to be adding in the Union front, like the Union United front. It's going to be opened after the maintenance, so that's actually pretty early on in the game already. That is the Guild v Guild content, and I'm definitely curious to see how that will look like in this game. I will be covering that the moment it is released, of course. So yeah, definitely curious to see how that will work out. And I think they also do mention a few other things later on. Oh no, wait, I thought they were also going to be mentioning what kind of other events are coming up or anything like that. But they're not going to be mentioning anything like that. The only events that they do mention are the events over here. So nothing yet about the double drop kind of thingy. So that is a little bit too bad. I was hoping a little bit more along the lines for the double drop thing too. There will be a maintenance. The maintenance is, I think, like 8 a.m. European time or like 10 a.m. European time. It lasts for an hour. That's totally fine. I think we go live right after the patch hits. So if you do want to see me live, you know where to find me. The YouTube channel where you're looking at right now. Otherwise, Seiishizo on Twitch. And we're definitely going to be pulling for that Hoyan. But I first want to be checking how good is she in game right now, if they change anything. And I'm also pretty curious to see like how good would Holden actually be, because a lot of focus has always been on Hoyan for like the release. They showed more of the gameplay trailer, the more of the skills on it. But in the end, we don't really know too much about Holden, which definitely might be one of those characters that could also be very strong, because right now everyone has been resetting Leon pretty much for a, I would assume, a damage dealer on the red element. So he might be actually a next best thing for a AoE damage dealer, or would he be single target damage dealer? I do expect him a damage dealer. Like, he looks too much damage dealer like to not be a damage dealer, right? So I think that he might be a pretty nice one for that. Thing which is a little bit sad is that they did not notify anything on the side of the shadow nerf on the Shadow Sania. They did not mention anything on the double drop thing. Maybe it was for us wrong to make the assumption that it was going to be the same as the beta. But then again, so far, most things actually have been same as the beta. So if most things are the same, you make the assumption that everything is the same or something like that. But yeah, not going to be in there. Also, if you do see this champion call, I highly recommend every week to do like the thing where you check all of the scores and you do vote for the one that is, in your opinion, best. In this case, I went for Union. I think it's best because of like insane speeds and the Leon looks pretty buffy. But then the thing is, you can also do a bet on individual matches, and that is going to cost you 250k Etheria coin. Do not do those. I highly recommend not doing those, because doing those will actually just cost way more than it actually gains you, even if you win. And the thing is, if you don't win, I think you just straight up lose that. So that's a big scam over there. Infinite Train is pretty fun content, but you will definitely notice, I think it was wave like 14-ish in the beta or something. Everyone just strands there, because then it goes from like 0 to 100 in like 3 seconds of difficulty. Not sure if they readjusted that a little bit. But yeah, that's pretty much the thing. Also, in the next video, I will be talking about what is my plan that I'm doing right now when there is no 2x drop, because the 2x drop might not actually be there. I'm still going to be saving these until tomorrow, but then again, I still have to have a plan to progress properly, even if it does not happen. So this is all from me for this one. Hope you enjoyed this one, and see you as always in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.